Welcome to Financial Coffee Talk with Shane Amy and Shane Swearingen, your planning duo from Shane and Shane Financial.
And welcome into the program, Shane and Shane Financial Coffee Talk with Shane Swearingen and Shane Amy of Shane and Shane Financial. Gentlemen, it is a pleasure having you here on the program, and I thought we would start off by providing a little bit of background on your firm, your relationship, and the way that you handle planning for the clients who are trying to be proactive in achieving their financial, investment, and retirement goals. So if you would, could we start off with just a little bit of background on how you came to be where you are and maybe a little bit of history of the firm?
Yeah, of course. I'll start off and, Swearingen, I'm sure you'll finish up. But I mean, for me, I was kind of one of those kids that was really lucky. When I was in high school, I knew I wanted to do this for a living, and that was all the way back in the 90s. And so when I went to college, it was pretty easy. And, I was able to complete, a lot of coursework for the CFP, or all the coursework for the CFP exam while getting a degree. And then, really just kind of came out when the tech bubble burst, in the late 90s, early 2000s. So this is my 20th year. I've held various positions within the financial services industry. And, Shane and I really started this thing in 2012. When I say this thing, I mean Shane and Shane Financial. And, we really incorporated in 2015. We've been, running strong really ever since. We have a couple of different locations. I used to be in Columbus, Ohio. I chose, as more and more of our clients sort of flocked down to Florida, I didn't want to miss the opportunity to leave Shane in the snow and get down here. And so, we've got Central Ohio, which basically means we have all of Ohio covered, and we have Florida covered as well.
Yeah, I always say I have the tougher job between the two of us because I gotta stay up here in the cold and service our clients. But for me, it was a little bit different of getting in the industry from that standpoint. When I had graduated from the College of Worcester, a small school up close to Cleveland, the plan was to go to law school. And I remember taking the LSAT, which was the entrance exam to get into law school. And I was like, this is not what I want to do. So, it kind of took a turn, but really, during 2008, 2009, Shane talked about the tech bubble. Really it was the Great Recession. The housing market, I kind of witnessed firsthand some of the things that my parents had went through, owning a small business right here in Columbus, Ohio, really kind of nudged me in that direction, if you will. And ever since then, I haven't looked back ever since. It's been one of the best decisions I ever made, and it's great to, service our clients. I always say I learn more from my clients than they do from me. So it's been an honor so far.
Well, I want to address the elephant in the room. Two Shanes, one firm. Does that get confusing, and how do you guys keep that straight?
Yeah, so it probably does get confusing. We do a lot of podcast, radio stuff. We do a lot of, public speaking events. And so we sort of address it. It's, my last name is spelled Eighme, and that's pronounced Amy, like the girl's name. His last name is spelled, I still don't know after, a decade. It's Swearingen. So, I mean, imagine trying to Google the firm of Amy Swearingen, and we being the marketing geniuses that we were probably like, that's a pretty bad idea for us to have like a more traditional name. And so luckily for us, our names are about 5 letters, pretty easy to spell. And so Shane and Shane seem to be a natural fit. Although as time goes by, I don't know. I always say that, we may have to change that in the future because unbeknownst to us, there is a pretty successful, popular Christian rock band also named Shane and Shane. So we, I think we're going to hang on to Shane and Shane Financial for as long as we can, and hopefully they don't take that. But yeah, that's I feel like
Completely
probably not
different
very
field.
confusing, but just deserves a little bit of explanation on, why would you have two first names in there?
We typically go by Big Shane and Little Shane. At least our clients use that reference, but I call him Amy. He calls me Swearingen most of the time when we're talking third person. But yeah, the one mistake we made was not Googling that rock band for sure, because
Yeah.
sure enough, they show up first on Google every single time.
Well, maybe we can get you rising the ranks there. So
Yeah.
a little bit of background on yourselves, your history, your path to where you are in the profession and the firm as well. If you would give us a little bit of perspective on the clients that you serve. Generally, what is their background or situation? Who do you best serve there at Shane and Shane Financial?
For me up here in Columbus, Ohio, again, things a little bit differently. Shane and I do, a lot of the things similarly together and separate, but I would say there's two ideal clients for us. One is the younger professional. Shane and I would like to say are on the younger side of things. So we really enjoy educating that client that is on the younger side as they're, starting to make a really good living. They got young kids. There's a lot of power and a lot of things that we can do for that person that has, 15, 20 years up until retirement, especially on the tax side of things. Tax allocation is very important. Conversely, our second ideal client, and this is where Shane and I have been working, ever since we started, is folks that are at and near retirement. There's so many things that come at you, once folks are at that stage, and really we stay up to date on all the rules and laws that affects that person that's at or near retirement. So those are the two main areas we try to help our clients in.
I guess I'll drill down a little bit more, in terms of, getting a little more specific with young versus, retirees. So, I mean, if you're someone in your 30s and 40s, and you alone or you and your spouse are in that, $300,000 to $400,000 a year, you're high income earners, you're dealing with taxes, maybe your parents are pulling you one way, your kids are pulling you another way, and you're looking for some sophisticated, advanced planning. I think that's really where we can shine in that bracket. And then, of course, for our folks that are, we'll say 60 plus, or, maybe even 55 plus, if you've got, I think our sweet spot is really that, 1 to 5 million range, to where we can do a lot of planning. You've typically taken the risks that you've taken to get there. You're worried about taxes. You're worried about passing things down. You're certainly worried about income, market exposure. Am I too conservative? Am I too risky? What's a good mix for me? And so we can really shine in those areas. And then if you're that business owner, that's in your, you've sold your business for, let's say 5, 8, 10 million plus, and you're looking for some advanced strategies, we definitely shine in that arena as well, I think.
Fantastic. And of course, your clients know this, but maybe if they don't, or need a reminder, or they want to share this information with others who may need some financial direction, are there any strongly held beliefs or perspectives or approach to planning that you take there at Shane and Shane Financial that you feel differentiate you from the traditional approach that savers and investors are getting?
The best thing that Shane and I do is listen. There's no cookie cutter. I won't mention any firms by name, but, when clients come in with certain firms, and there's about a half a dozen out there, we can sort of black out a previous client's name and address, and their portfolios are all relatively the same, and they're coming from that broker dealer world, and, maybe they're not quite understanding our world, which is a little more boutique. It's less mutual funds. It's less cookie cutter, and it's more customized. We're not out there trying to take on, 100 clients a year. We're looking for very specific clients, that we want to grow our business around. I think for us, our approach is just our, shut up and listen and really get to know what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. Everybody has the same general sense of problems. In other words, most folks that we work with, they want to make sure that their income is sufficient. Obviously, they want to pay as little tax as possible. They want to make sure that they're not so conservative that they're getting no return, but they're not so aggressive that they can lose 40, 50% of their portfolio. And I think unwinding some things, most of our clients come to us from other advisors. Some of them are the do-it-yourselfers that are kind of like, I'm done with this. This is getting a little complicated. So I think there's really nothing, there's no special sauce other than just listening and, having our combined years of experience behind us to where we can just really custom tailor things as people need them that don't generally, like once you fall outside of income and once you fall outside of, what's the right risk tolerance for me, it's really custom from there. So I think, there's no special sauce unless Shane, you have some special sauce you haven't told me about yet, but I feel like I would know.
I think to echo some of Shane's comments, really what separates us, and I think, this was probably what allowed Shane and I to grow the most, is when we took the jump from what I refer to as a captive agency over to the independent side of things. We're not being told which mutual funds to sell to our clients. We're not being, we're not having some insurance broker, say, hey, you got to hit a certain quota and sell so much life insurance. So really, when we made the jump to independent side of things, it really allowed Shane and I to service our clients in their specific needs. There was no one size fits all. We have an honest approach, I would say. And really what makes us different is you have to have a mix of different financial instruments and tools and strategies, not just insurance, not just investments. It's got to be a mix. And as we educate our clients, I think that's the biggest difference from us versus, some of the other firms out there, is we really try to have our clients, right next to us. It's not just us leading. They have to play a part in this. They have to want certain things. And, really just educating the client along the way is probably the most important thing for us, which makes us a little bit different, I would say, than most.
Here on Coffee Talk with Shane and Shane from Shane and Shane Financial. And of course, if you are a client, you already know doors are open, phone lines available. Your questions always get answered, and you are welcome to be in touch if you ever have any kind of question or concern or financial thought or consideration that you'd like to talk over with your advisors there, Shane and Shane. If you're not yet a client, well, it's an open opportunity for you as well. If you would like to get your plan reviewed, analyzed, a forensic fee and risk and tax analysis, if you'd like to put together that written plan for your financial future, identifying risks, issues, and opportunities to be more efficient and keep more of your money, pick up the phone and give a call, 888-300-3811. That's 888-300-3811. Or you can visit Shane and Shane Financial, and is spelled out, ShaneandShaneFinancial.com. And Shane, always a pleasure. Look forward to many more informative conversations, getting in depth on key financial and retirement issues and strategies.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes.
Fee-based financial planning and investment advisory services are offered through TrueVestments Capital, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.